Hi, welcome back. We're still in week number 1. This is now lecture number 4. I would like to set up the reason why your next assignment is to create a name poem. You probably have noticed that I've been signing ever since we started, right? Well, there's several reasons for that. My grandmother was deaf, so I grew up signing. Plus, many of my deaf students really appreciate having direct instruction. So I sign, you have captions, I talk, and hopefully everyone can understand what they need to understand. For sign language, I find that actors really benefit from knowing deaf culture and sign language. It really improves facial expression, body language, gesture, and communication in general. So, you're not going to have an acting class, and we have to do this pretty quickly. So, one easy way of taking the information and putting it on yourself, finding yourself through dramatic lit, and finding a way to really, put yourself in your writing is to try something new. Now, some of you maybe already know what a name poem is. Some of you never thought about that before, and I've already said that word several times. Poem, it makes people crazy. Well, in drama, in Shakespeare, in musical theater, in many, 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 many different kinds of theater, you will see different techniques of writing. They all have a plot, and we'll talk about that more as we go on. But I wanted to start by talking about the different techniques. So, in a poem, you often have rhyme. In English, those are words that sound the same. Boat, goat, float. In sign, they are hand shapes that look the same. They look the same as A, B, C, or they look the same as 1, 2, 3. So they're kind of a fun way of playing with language. Both. Whichever culture, whichever language you choose, it's playing with language. So in English, we have the concept of an acrostic poem. An acrostic means that you take each letter in a word and expand it into a sentence, and that becomes a poem. Kind of like, M is for the mother that I love. O is for the only one I see. T is for the tears my mother shed for me. So Mother. And you would have a sentence that the first letter is the word mother, right? So that's an acrostic in English. They're pretty simple. Kids like to play around with that kind of poem. In sign, the equivalent is a word poem. I think the most famous is golf. Golf. In that, you have the letter G, and it becomes like the T for the golf. O is the ball. L becomes the club. And F, you see the ball bounce off. It's very based on images, what you see, right? So G, O, L, P, F. So for you, I'm going to ask you to create a name poem. Your name is not golf, but it's the same concept. each letter of your name becomes part of an expression. And that's one dramatic way, physical, facial expression, gesture way of starting to see how you can find yourself in expressing and writing in a playful way. So it's a good assignment. It might expose you to a new culture or new ideas about deaf culture. If you're on the RIT campus, you'll notice deaf culture is all around you. So it might be interesting to learn more about that. So, for example, my first name is Luane, Luann, right? So for a name poem, I might do, I'm teaching right now, so L. You come here, L. You sit right here, sit down. A. Open a book. N. Read that book. I don't think they're reading very well. E. Close the book. And you're off. So, Luane. Your assignment for this week will be to take your first name, and sorry if you have a long one, not my fault, and try to come up with gestures. They can be gestures, mime, sign if you know that. And you use the hand shapes in your name to tell me a little bit more about who you are. Okay? So whether it's musical theater or Shakespeare, this is the start of a creative way of expressing, which will lead to a creative way of writing in your own style, finding yourself through dramatic lit. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the assignment. I really look forward to see what you create, and I'll see you next week.